where they go sports. If you wanna know about sports, this is where you go. Welcome to the Mizzle show, where they know sports. If you wanna know about sports, this is where you go.
First down, touchdown, first down, touchdown, yeah. First down, touchdown, first down, touchdown, yeah. First down, touchdown, first down, touchdown, yeah. First down, touchdown, first down, touchdown, yeah.
Forgive us. We were having some comical moments before we came on the air. But
Oh God.
welcome to episode number 157 of the Mizzle and Dub Show. I am Dub. He is Mizzle. As you can see, he is still celebrating in birthday form. But
Much not over.
you are not wrong. Now before we get into the main meat of the matter, which is talking about this championship Sunday and covering the conference championship games. Real quickly, just want to touch on a very, very emotional evening in the city by the Bay as the Golden State Warriors play their first basketball game since the
Shout out to
tragic
JP real
passing.
quick.
Oh yes, indeed. For checking in. Real quick, want to touch on the first game of the Warriors since the tragic passing of their former assistant coach, Dejan Milovic. As if you didn't watch the tribute, it was a fantastic tribute done as classy the Warriors organization can do. Steve Kerr spoke so eloquently. As you can see, it was a very emotional night, not a dry eye in the house, and
No.
they did all that to try and play a basketball game, and the Warriors did play a basketball game, and to honor their coach, they get the win by a final score of 134 to 112. Jonathan Kuminga played outstanding, shot 11 of 11 from the floor to tie the legendary Chris Mullins record for consecutive field goals to start a game. Warriors get a big win, but more importantly for the Warriors as they try to put the pieces back together and try to move on with life and try to play a basketball season. But the Warriors, as classy as they always are, put together a tremendous tribute for their fallen Brate.
Just not the Warriors though. Did you see the outstanding love that he got in Serbia? Man,
Yes.
those fans out there are so damn passionate, and for what they did. I mean, the show, just the emotion of what they did. Man, he got love not just from the U.S. but out in Serbia as well too. And so, just tremendous outpour for the man. And as you see, I'm giving a shout out to him. And what Brate means is brother, and that's what he called everybody in the organization, Brate. So I will probably be calling some people that from here on out, just to shout out for Dejan. But just you saw Klay Thompson, man, on the bench, just red-eyed, just for everybody in that organization to step up and do that presentation and still go out there and play a basketball game. It almost reminds me when Al Davis passed and the Raiders went out there and played that football game and Hugh Jackson was just coaching them up, and you saw the emotion that came out of Hugh Jackson after that game. Not trying to take away what happened with the Warriors, I'm just trying to make a comparison how this game affects these players. It's just more than sports when it comes to this. And just like my brother said, my Brate said, tremendous output that the Warriors did, and also what happened in Serbia. So rest in peace, Dejan. Continue to shine down on the Warriors, and maybe we can win a championship, with your help. If it's not the Sixers.
Well, I mean, like I said, it's. I mean, really, what can you say to try to put the pieces back together? Because, I mean, after all, sports is nothing but a game. But for a lot of us that are fans, it's our outlet to get away from the worries of the world. It's our 2 to 3 hour window to get away from the rigors of everyday life and worrying about bills and and so on and so forth. It's our outlet, and it certainly has been Mizzle's.
Sports has got us through COVID. Just think about when they brought boxing back, how ecstatic I was just to sit here, even though there was no fans, but just to see people still just sports to continue, even with no fans at football. It was just good, like you said, to sit down for 2 to 3 hours and forget about the world and just be like, there's a little normalcy about this. So I don't know how the Warriors are going to do it. I hope they still find a way, but it's going to be tough because, hell, I don't deal with death very well. So I can imagine what these grown men and millionaires feel when somebody's real close to them. That's a part of their lives when they're playing.
I mean,
how they feel.
I mean, the fact that they were there having a team dinner when
Yes.
this tragedy happened. So
Yes.
I mean, you have to think that is still fresh in their minds, and then you're trying to still go out there and practice, still go out there to try to play games, still go out there and try and finish this season, which, I mean, for the most part has been underachieving. I mean, there's still 3 games under 500. I mean, there's still plenty of time left in the season to get right, but now maybe, as you said, maybe this might be a sense of extra motivation for the Warriors to play for their Brate, to play for their fellow man. So I mean, anything.
Don't get me wrong. I don't want them to use this as fuel, but if this is the tragedy that's needed, okay. I mean, I do not wish any tragedy to happen to any organization to get them over the hill, but this is something that can happen for this organization is basically what I'm getting at. They've been down in the dumps. The season hasn't been going well. Sometimes a tragedy needs to happen for things to turn around. I just don't hope this is the main reason, but I hope it's a spark per se.
You're not wrong. There were some other things that happened in the association that we're going to touch on real quick. And I mean, even still, just the reasoning, I don't get it, but the Milwaukee Bucks played their first game after their coach. I mean, we know why. It still doesn't make sense to me because the fact that you come into this game that you eventually won against the Cavaliers by 10, 126 to 116.
Yes.
You were 17 games over 500. Like there's really not much to complain about when you're 30-13, now 31-13 on the season. And here's my thing. And this is my question that I want to harp on. If Glenn Doc Rivers was your choice all along, then why did you not just make him an offer in the doggone first place? If that who was really on your radar all this, if he was on your radar all this time, then why would you even allow him?
Let me stop you right there, Roscoe. I'm gonna tell you the reason why. Because the Bucks were looking into Nick Nurse. Giannis didn't want Nick Nurse. He was okay with the coach that they took. They hired him. Doc endorsed it. Now Giannis is not happy. And so now Giannis gets what he wants. And guess what? As a Sixer fan, bring on Doc. The fucker can't get past a 3-1 or 3-2 lead. Cool. Not worried about the Bucks. Now I just need to focus on the Boston Celtics. Because the Bucks are going to blow it now. Doc Rivers cannot coach when he has a lead. It's been proven. My worries when they hired him with the Sixers. That was my biggest thing. Okay, we'll win some games. We'll get to the playoffs. But we'll get a lead. But his teams tend to fold when it matters the most. So, good job, Bucks. Thank you. Wait, Duck. Thank you. So, bring it on. Bring it on. Thank you, Bucks organization, and thank you, Giannis. Now, I will literally come on this show and eat crow if Doc can get him over the hump. Cool. I don't think so. The proof has been shown. He can't do it. Clippers, Sixers. I think he even lost one he was with Boston. So
Well, they were up 3. Yeah, because they were up against Miami when LeBron had that amazing triple double in Game 6 on the parquet floor. So yeah, you're not wrong.
Thank
You're not
you.
wrong. What's up, DJ Matt Sticks? Thanks for checking in, bro. Appreciate you.
Hey, JP, shush, please. As I'm reading comments off the Facebook live page, so thank you for anybody that's watching on me and Dub's Facebook.
As am I. Appreciate DJ Matt Sticks for checking in and watching us also. Whatever outlet you're watching us from, we appreciate you and say thank you. And thank you for chiming in. For our night owls that are watching across the East Coast, welcome. We appreciate you also. But also,
Indeed,
the Miami Heat just got themselves better by adding Terry Rozier to their squad.
Call him by his name.
You don't know who Terry Rozier?
Scary Terry. That's his name.
Well,
damn it.
Well, if you don't know who Terry Rozier, is, he was in purgatory in Charlotte, just bawling his mind off for the Charlotte Hornets, and then you add him to the fold. You add him with Tyler Hero and Duncan Robinson, and more importantly, when you're with Jimmy Buckets and Bam Adebayo, and not to mention Kevin Love and Martin off the bench. Again, this is why we always say, if there's always one team that scares you in the Eastern Conference and that can make a run, it is always the doggone Miami Heat. As I always say,
real.
Heat culture.
Culture is real.
It is 1,000% real.
Oh my goodness!
And we always keep saying it's one of the best ran organizations in the
100.
NBA. That's what it is. Mr. Boxley, we will be talking about them soon. Just stick around and keep watching with us. But I mean,
just want to also give a shout out to the others that are watching. Thank you, Mr. Vasquez, for checking in. Thank you, cousin, for checking in and watching us. Hopefully we will entertain you. As you always say, we entertain you. So hopefully me and Dub will give you something to laugh about, which I promise you we probably will. Yes, they did.
Yes, they did.
He did wait till his divorce because they didn't want to give the wife nothing.
Yes.
That was a Pat Riley move.
Pat Riley and Mickey Arson was very, very smart to make sure that Spoelstra got his money, and he got his money, and that was well-deserved money that Spoelstra got for sure.
Yes.
You are not.
It's real.
I mean, heck,
it's real.
Even though it's all silver now, Pat Riley still has some of the best hair in sports. Let me just tell you. I'm just telling you. I mean, if I could still have hair like that at his age, with the way he still has it slicked back with the moose,
stop it.
I'd be living.
Stop it. You stop it right now. I cannot put you in timeout because we're doing the show, but you stop it, damn it.
Okay, unlike that picture earlier you sent of Michelangelo's Michael Jackson, you need to stop it, dadgummit.
Touche.
But anyhow, just to recap the action tonight in the association, and then we will talk about the main court. Well, JP, once upon a time, that actually did happen, and it actually was in the Afro form, believe it or not. But once
the picture and send it to you. You don't worry about that. I will find it. Yes, you will see it.
Anyhow, just to recap the night in the association, as mentioned, Warriors beat the Hawks 134-112. Pistons beat the Hornets 113-106. Timberwolves beat the Wizards 118-107. Grizzlies beat the Heat 105-96. In overtime, Portland beats Houston 137-131. Bucks beat the Cavaliers 126-116. The Suns have quietly won 7 in a row. They go into Dallas and beat the Mavericks 132 to 109, and the Thunder continue to win. They beat the San Antonio Fundamentals 140 to 114. As Shea Gilgeous-Alexander had 32 big ones to lead the OKC Thunder. Now, now, before we talk about the conference championship games, there are some things sizing up in the NFL. The Tennessee Titans, they have their man as they get Brian Callahan from the Cincinnati Bengals to be their head coach.
Good move.
So he gets his he gets his first gig in the head coaching job. But something I did not expect, the Philadelphia Eagles pulling one out the hat as somehow they managed to get Vic Fangio to leave South Beach and to come to Philadelphia. You want to talk about improving your defensive coaching staff? It really
is that 100%?
Oh yeah, he is leaving to come and be the DC in Philadelphia.
I thought he'll come to Inglewood since Harbaugh is taking that position. I figured them two will be back together, but I'd rather him go to the Eagles than come to Inglewood. I'll take that.
Well, I'll say this. I mean, it definitely. Well, I'll say this. I think Nick Sirianni knew that his butt's on the line coming into 2024, and I mean,
splash move.
Definitely a splash move for sure. But I mean, we'll see. I mean, Vic Fangio has been a respected defensive coordinator for many moons. And we will see if or how that happens. With that said, let's also check what's going on. As far as interviews go, a lot of interviews, but also not surprising, not shocking. The Inglewood Chargers get their man, Jim Harbaugh. After almost a decade out of the NFL, he decides that he will take his talents to Inglewood and try to get the best out of Justin Herbert.
Not scared at all.
Well, again, here's
not like other fan bases, other fans of this fan base. They're like, oh my God, we have the 4th best coach in the AFC now. Blah, 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 blah. Whatever. We just need to see who AP go get as our offensive coordinator. Patrick Graham is returning, So I'm more like, can he bring that style back to the NFL? Has the NFL passed Harbaugh? Will these players believe in what he's preaching? I mean, not scared. He got a coach just like the other teams got a coach. So let's just see.
Here's the thing. Yes, I know everywhere he has gone, Harbaugh's won.
Yep,
that's tremendous. That's a tremendous track record. There's no
doubt.
Question about that. However, you and I both know how babied and pampered today's NFL is, and one of the reasons why the last couple of years in San Francisco / Santa Clara that it did not work was because he was pushing them too hard and the players were complaining about he's going too hard because Harbaugh was so obsessed of trying to get back to the Super Bowl and win it. Well, JP from that standpoint, yes, he didn't win the big one until this past season, but every year he was at Michigan, with the exception of the COVID year, he won 10 plus games.
Yeah,
and there's no and that's just, I mean, winning 10 games is winning 10
games.
He
did defeat his demons there too. He did finally beat Ohio State, so he did accomplish some things before he left. So not going to take away from that, but I don't think that his coaching style is going to. Maybe that's what the Chargers need. Maybe they need somebody like Jim Harbaugh. Maybe it was just too soft.
Well, Matt Sticks, you might not be wrong. DJ Matchstick said that his brother John's going to whoop his ass, which John is undefeated against Jim in games played.
Well, he beat him in the Super Bowl.
That's facts. Well, Big Greg. Well, Greg. I look at it this way: you guys split against the Chiefs, and you beat them Arrowhead. That's something to build on. And you're
Not
right.
scared.
And you're right. Who cares about Inglewood? But I mean, he is a big name. Was a big name. He returns to the NFL, so we'll see what happens. But obviously, the Chargers still have to get a GM, which more than likely it might be Ed Dodds from the Colts to tag team with Jim Harbaugh. So we will see what happens from there. Nonetheless, there was a press conference that took place in Henderson, Nevada, that Mr. Mizzle was very high on. So I'm going to shut up now and let Mizzle talk about the introduction of his newest GM to go with his newest head coach, Mr. Antonio Pierce. So Mizzle, the floor is yours.
Well, there's not really much to say about AP. AP won us over November 1st, and I'll just leave it at that. But I'll say this: he did kill the press conference today, but it wasn't too much he needed to say. I mean, he did lay out his vision, which we already knew. But I'm going to harp on more of Tom Telesco, which slightly I was a little nervous because, of course, coming from the Chargers, you see how they've been playing and stuff like that. But once I got the dialing in and doing some research, if you look at his draft, I mean, he's hit. First-round talent, Pro Bowlers. Now it's not his fault when they get on the field. Sometimes they get hurt. That's just part of football. But as drafting wise, the man ain't missed. So I'm looking forward to see what AP vision is and how he can iron out AP's vision. It seems like that you can always say what you want in a press conference. You can say the right things. You can say, this is what we're going to do. But I believe he's going to go out there and get it. And just by listening to that, I was ready for the season to start already. Yes, I know we got these other these games to go and these 4 teams in there, but let's just hurry up and get to the damn Super Bowl so we can get back to some Raider football. I just need him to draft a damn good quarterback if that's the route we're going, which I believe there's already media knowing what's going on in our draft room, projecting us to trade up and get one of these talented quarterbacks. We shall see. It's going to take a lot of capital, which, me, I'm not for giving up the farm just to go get one player. There's still holes in this team, and we have enough picks to fill some of these holes if he drafts right. But I'm all for it, man. The press conference was great. Mark got it right. I like what Mark was saying. He was nervous about pinning a rookie GM with a rookie head coach. That's why I believe Champ didn't get the job. But Champ is still there. He's still the assistant GM. So, I mean, let's just see what Mark does. I mean, the last time we had a linebacker coach to go head coach, I mean, all he does is have multiple video games, one of the best records in the NFL, also has a Lombardi trophy, and he was on TV for a while. So, if you don't know what I'm talking about, it's Mr. John Madden. So, let's see what AP got, man. He got the juice. He got the locker room. He got the fan base. And he has – and here's the thing. When the media is talking good about the Raiders, it kind of makes me nervous. But in the offseason, it gives me hope. And would I take Justin Fields? I would say sometimes a change of scenery does work out. But I also need to see who they're going to hire as the offensive coordinator. If they get Cliff Kingsbury, I might be okay with that. Now, he's a better OC than he is a head coach. Just look at that USC offense. USC was kind of cooking. And before the downfall of Kyler Murray, the Cardinals were good. The Cardinals were close to the playoffs. They were giving the Niners fits, and you cannot lie. That's true.
Well, here was the problem with Cliff Kingsbury as a head coach. Got off to good starts.
Yes.
Tailed off at the end. That was
Yes.
that was a big staple under Cliff Kingsbury. Yes, I think they made the playoffs once or twice under Cliff Barry as a head coach. And yes, he is very
No, Chicago already has their offensive coordinator.
Really?
They promoted within. I believe they promoted within. So Chicago, either they got the promoted within or they took somebody off. No, excuse me. It was the Bengals who promoted within. But I do believe the Bears do have their offensive coordinator.
The Bears promoted Shane Waldron as offensive coordinator. So yes, that is official.
Yes,
Shane
so-
Waldron has been he was the former Seahawks OC. So now he will be running the Bears offense in Chicago. So there you go. So
and Cliff is coming in for an interview sometime this week. So let's see, a QB coach at some capacity. Well, I believe the OC might be the QB coach as well, especially if you hire Cliff, because he does do things with the quarterback, as I think he was at USC. I think he was the quarterback coach and the OC as well. But I believe.
Let me ask you this question. How do you feel about the supposed or anonymous executive talking about Russell Wilson possibly coming to Las Vegas? Your thoughts on that?
He needs to put the mushrooms down. He needs to stop smoking weed. Whatever the clickbait that he's trying to get, just stop it. That we're not taking on that contract. We're not doing that. We already had Jimmy G. We don't need to be doing that again. And if they do that, Lord have mercy. But no, he needs to put the shrooms down, put the gelato down, stop spiking the coffee, and just write articles and try to get clickbait a different way and using my team as it spits. No, we don't want that. You don't want that. I don't want for what? For Russ to have a good first half of the season and then start looking like Russ, the one that start to see ghosts who just runs around the field, just throws the ball up and down the field. No. No, we need to develop a quarterback. We need to find hell. I will take Kirk Cousins before I take Russell Wilson.
Oh my God. You went there. Oh geez.
Damn right I went there.
Oh my goodness.
Hell, if he didn't get hurt in Minnesota, they would have been in the playoffs.
You're not wrong. You might not be wrong.
Kirk Cousins, I mean, yeah, what quarterback makes mistakes at the goal line and the red zone? But Kirk Cousins pretty much takes care of the football. He's always around 4,500 yards. You know, you give him a good running game. Hell, I will take Kirk Cousins before I take Russell Wilson, 100%. And Devontae Adams already came out and said that's one of the quarterbacks he wouldn't mind playing for. So that little sprinkle has already been in the ear. So if Minnesota don't retain him and he becomes a free agent, we'll have to work on that contract because he is a little pricey. But I'll take you like that right now.
All right. Well, that is interesting facts from the world of what's going on in Henderson, Nevada. Now, here we go. Championship Sunday in the National Football League, the NFL's Final Four, starts off at 12:30 Pacific Time, 3:30 Eastern. Of course, 2 Central, 1 Mountain. Of course, it is the Kansas City Chiefs, the defending Super Bowl champions, on the road in Baltimore Ravens, taking on the Baltimore Ravens. Ravens coming in -3.5. Of course, the Ravens 13-4, best record in football. Chiefs coming in with 11-6 record, 8 straight years winning the AFC West. It's Lamar Jackson versus Patrick Mahomes. Chiefs trying to get to a third Super Bowl in the last 5 years, and their second straight appearance.
I love it.
The Ravens trying to make it.
I love it.
The Ravens trying to make their first appearance in the Super Bowl for the first time since the 2012 season when they won Super Bowl 47. How do you see this AFC Championship game? Which, by the way, the over under is 44 and a half. And JP, you are not wrong. I agree with you 1,000%. I agree. And I will elaborate on that more when we preview the Niners and Lions in the NFC Championship game. But Ravens, Chiefs in Baltimore, over under 44 and a half. How do you see this very intriguing matchup? It's very intriguing. It's a very intriguing game. It really is.
Well, you know the Raider in me. I don't want to see the Chiefs back in the Super Bowl. I'm over it. I'm just done.
Yes.
I'm fed up. But as we sit here, we are homers when it comes to our teams, but we do speak. We still speak. Question I want to double up before I get to going. Is the tackle playing for the Chiefs? Because I read he's not practicing. He hasn't been practicing. So I also need to know that.
Are you talking about Prince?
It's Tooney.
The Chiefs offensive tackle.
Is it Tooney? I thought it was something tuning to.
If you're talking about the Chiefs offensive lineman, if you're talking about Prince Tega, a name I'm not even going to try to pronounce. He's on IR. Willie Gay's questionable. L'Jarius Sneed is questionable. Isaiah Pacheco's questionable. Marlon Humphrey is still questionable. Rocky Ya-Sin is questionable. As it stands, Mark Andrews is still on the IR. Anything could possibly happen. Delshon Phillips, the linebacker, he's questionable. But obviously, if they're questionable, if they think they have a chance of playing, obviously,
you're gonna play
because this is one step closer to possibly playing. This is one step closer possibly to playing in the Super Bowl. Obviously, unless you're bleeding or you're dying, if you can play, you're going to play.
I see that the Ravens
freeze in Baltimore, Maryland.
Oof, cold. I expect the Ravens defense to play tremendously well. I expect them to play tremendous. Patrick Queen, Roquan Smith, Lamar, JP, I would not be surprised. I will not be surprised because you were leading into my see. This is why when another talk show host comes on another talk show host, we get the vibing, and this would just happen right there because I believe Lamar is going to put the team on his back like he's always been doing the whole season. But he got that monkey off his back. He got that first win in the playoffs. They're moving along, and I don't see the train stopping. The Chiefs are going to score because that fucker gets open every time. I don't know how Travis Kelce gets open. You plan for it. You look for him. He just finds the way to fucking get open. He'll get theirs, but at the end.
You got two linebackers, though, that can cover tight ends, as you
mentioned. Yes. Patrick Queen and Roquan Smith, they're going to be huge. I don't see Justin Tucker playing too much involved in this game. I think Baltimore is hungry. I believe Harbaugh is going to have them boys ready. The defense is ready. They didn't hurt enough about they can't win the big one that they always this, that, and the third. It's going to be a hell of a game. I just think that defense is going to have Patrick Mahomes running all over the field like the Tampa Bay Buccaneers did in the Super Bowl that year. So, and if Pacheco's at 100%, that's huge. If it ain't Kelce, the receivers had a couple of catches here and there, but I just think the dropsies are going to come back in the fold. And I just think this is where the Chiefs dynasty might start going a little backwards. So I got JP said Lamar by 14. I can see it by 10, maybe 10. But it's going to be a hell of a game. Kermit the Frog is going home, ladies and gentlemen. Yes, I said it.
I think the run game will play huge dividends like it did against the Texans.
Yep.
I think Gus Edwards and Dalvin Cook will complement Lamar Jackson. But also, I don't know if L'Jarius Sneed can keep up with Zay Flowers.
Ooh. Huge take on that. I didn't even touch on that. Good one. Good point. Good point.
And not to mention, I think this could be a game to where a certain wide receiver that wears the number 3, he might potentially get off in this game. Because Odell would love nothing more than to get off against the Chiefs in the second biggest stage in the NFL. Because, as I always say, before you can even talk about hoisting Lombardi, you first got to hoist either the Lamar Hunt Trophy or the George Halas Trophy. Before you can even think about Lombardi, you got to get Hunt or Halas first. Then you can talk about possibly staring at Lombardi. Ooh, that's a bold prediction there, my guy. Very bold prediction. But
I like it. I like it, though. I like it.
That very well could happen.
Indeed.
But I do agree. I do agree with you. Lamar Jackson, dare I say, is obsessed with wanting to go to the Super Bowl and is more obsessed with wanting to win the Super Bowl. I just he's just determined, and it just seems like he is going to do whatever it takes, to quote the Avengers in Avengers Endgame. He's going to do whatever it takes to make sure that his team is in prime position to win the AFC Championship. And
I agree.
As I've been saying, I really think that John Harbaugh really truthfully does not get enough credit. I really don't.
Yeah.
I mean, the man has proven consistently, almost year in, year out, that he gets to the playoffs. He consistently wins. I mean, he's been there. He's been there for 16 seasons. 11 of those years he has been in the playoffs. Yeah.
16?
11 to 6. Yeah, he's been there for it almost seemed like him and Mike Tomlin almost came in at the same time together, and you wonder why the Steelers and Ravens have been consistent in their winning, because those two guys have been I will also say this. You can also throw in the Ravens as a well-ran and structured organization in the NFL as well. You hardly hear any, and I mean, from when Ozzie Newsome was the GM to the
there it is. That's where I was going. Yep.
Yeah, I mean, from Ozzie Newsome to the Ravens current GM, which I forgot his freaking name. Forgive me. Eric DaCosta. So I mean, the smooth transition from Ozzie Newsome to Eric DaCosta to, of course, the great ownership under Steve Bisciotti.
Facts.
You're not wrong. You're not wrong. I mean, the Ravens have been
to win the Super Bowl too,
for a long time.
And they won the Super Bowl.
Even though I'm not too thrilled with the way Art Modell did it.
Yep, they're really are
the
team. Really are the expansion team. All they did was just leave Cleveland.
Yeah, but
it is what it is.
Or the people of Cleveland made sure, but the people of Cleveland made sure that the Browns' records were not touched. They stayed with the Browns, and the Browns came back in '99. So the Ravens do have their own team stats and team history, so on and so forth.
Yes, indeed.
But I do like the Ravens. I I say about 10, 13 points is about the right trajectory of margin of victory.
Yeah.
Again, in some instances, the Chiefs got lucky against the Bills. I don't know if they'll get that same break against the Ravens, um, because I just really do think Baltimore is going to come in with a huge focus, and like I said, Lamar Jackson is so determined to will his team to win this game and to get to Super Bowl 58 here in Las Vegas at the Death Star at Allegiant Stadium. Um, and I think this is the game for the Chiefs. I think this is the game where it will show the absence and how much Eric Bieniemy is missed from an offensive standpoint in this game. And again,
I like that
I
take.
agree.
I like
And
that
again,
take.
I agree with you. Other than Rice and other than Travis Kelsey, who on this team is going to catch the ball for the Chiefs? Because a lot of times in a one game situation, and oftentimes than not, your flaws will show out. And what has
Yep.
been the biggest flaw for the Chiefs this year has been
Drop
dropped
passes.
passes.
Yep.
They have led the league in drops. And I think that might rear in its ugly head again in this game. And not to me. Thanks for tuning in, Brian. We appreciate you. Thank you, sir.
Yes,
Good night
indeed.
to you
Thank
too.
you.
Anyhow, a lot of times your flaws in a one game setting, a lot of times rear its ugly head in big
Yep.
games like these, because how you were or what brought you to the dance, that's either how you're going to win, or that's how your season is going to end.
Indeed.
And I just think the drops have cost the Chiefs on many of occasions, and I think it's going to be the drops that might cost the Chiefs in this particular AFC Championship game. And now here lies the question, because now there's some rumors speculating that Andy Reid might retire. So, I mean, with that in the air, if they do happen to lose, will this be the end of the road for the Kool-Aid Man? We do not know. And KC, you're not wrong. It is going to have to take a big game from Mahomes. I don't know if Pacheco is going to get 100 yards, because, after all, the Baltimore Ravens are the number one ranked defense in the NFL. And not to mention, they're the number one scoring defense in the NFL. And not to mention, they have the best run defense in the NFL. So, I mean,
it's gonna be hard. It's gonna be hard.
That's a three-headed sword that's going to be hard to take if you are the Chiefs. Now, again,
Yes.
as Ric Flair coined the phrase, to be the man, you have to beat the man. And right now, as it stands, the Kansas City Chiefs still have what everybody wants, and that's Lombardi. It's still in the possession of the Chiefs until you beat them. So again, it's going to be a lot on Mahomes' shoulders to try and will this team to a victory.
Yeah.
I just don't know if he's going to be enough in Baltimore.
I agree.
And now
this is when I
get officially nervous. Love you too, Mr. Cleophas Jones. You get some rest. I'm watching The Passion tomorrow. But now this is where I will get officially nervous now. Because as I've said, I certainly from one am not taking the Detroit Lions lightly.
You shouldn't.
Because as you know, those that have watched this show in our fourth year of existence, ever since Brad Holmes and Dan Campbell have been put together, Mizzle and I almost verbatim have kept saying the Lions are coming, the Lions are coming, the Lions are on the right trajectory, the Lions are on the right track, and here we go. The Detroit
Here we
Lions are
go.
in their second NFC Championship game, their first since the 1991 season.
Ooh,
Obviously, yes,
okay.
having home, yeah, it's been a very long time. Yes, having home field in Santa Clara is huge. It's
I
big.
still say the referees cost this game being in Detroit. This game should really be played in Detroit. You Niner fans know this. Well, real Niner fans should know this. Detroit beats Dallas. Y'all going to Detroit. Detroit would be the number 2 seed if that game will be no, would you guys still be the number 1 seed? Am I wrong? No, I think you guys would be going to the Detroit. Or would you still be holding down the number 1 seed? How would that come out? It would still be Niners?
The Niners would still be the number 1 seed by way of, I think, by way of record against
Conference?
common opponents. I think.
Okay. Excuse me.
I think so.
Excuse me. Okay. But just think about it though. Just think about that trajectory that could have happened. But
if the game was if the game was at Ford Field, then I'd be more nervous than I am now. Because with that crowd noise, and all the years of mounting frustration,
yes,
I'd be a little bit nervous than I am right now.
That's like Bills Mafia 1.5.
Just minus lighting the hate, just minus lighting the
exactly
on fire.
Yes.
But well, one thing's for certain. It's supposed to be clear weather in Santa Clara, so it looks like the elements will not play a factor.
Nice.
Nice. So we will see. Obviously, the game will take place at 3:30 Pacific, 6:30 Eastern, 5 Central, 4 Mountain. We know this Lions team is getting Dan Campbell is going to have this team running through a wall. And
yes, indeed.
One thing the Lions want to do, the Lions want to make this a grit game. They want to make this a slow-paced game. They want to make this as methodical and physical as they can. Now, yes, the Niners can match them in physicality. But, however, if the game tends to slow down, it slows down the Lions' favor. Not to mention, the Lions' offensive line is very, very good, and they have one of the best running games in football. And I really think whomever's running game is getting off, I think that might be the difference in this football game. If Montgomery and Gibbs are getting off, the Lions stand a very good chance to win this game. Obviously, if McCaffrey's going off, obviously that gives the Niners a great chance to win this football game. It may come down to whoever forces the first turnover. That might be the difference of the game because they're only giving the Niners a touchdown advantage. Both teams are 12-5. If there's anything suspect about the Lions' defense,
touchdown. That's the line. Ooh, I don't like that.
-7.
Oh, yes. I don't like that. I don't like that. It should be like close to like 3 or 4, something like that. I don't like that.
-7. The game time weather is supposed to be 69 degrees at Gene Stadium in Santa Clara. The over-under is 50.
Okay.
Yeah, the over-under is 50.5.
Oh, I see a lot of points on the board. Yep, I see that.
But again, however, just like the Lions' secondary is suspect, Santa Clara's secondary is suspect. So one thing is for certain, the Niners cannot let Amon-Ra Brown get off, which is easier said than done because the man always seems to find a way to make a catch and always make the big catch when you need it and get extra yards after the catch for a first down. Obviously, the big question for the Niners is Deebo Samuel going to play? That's the biggest question. As it stands right now, he's questionable, but that shoulder injury is going to be huge. And if he can play, that changes the whole dynamic of Shanahan's offense. And it's like, where do you go from here? That's a big thing that they might if Deebo Samuel can't play. But one thing I'm looking at here is the battle of the tight ends, and you got two very good ones in Sam Laporta and George Kittle. I think that's going to be a huge factor. It is the tight end matchup. But also at the same time, if the Niners can get pressure, Jared Goff from time to time has been known to be in a giving mood.
Oh yes.
If you can get consistent pressure on Jared Goff might be giving and throw some interceptions here nor there. But I do think this is the game of the reason why the Niners made the trade for Christian McCaffrey. It's the game like this to where you made the move for Chase Young, you made the move for Randy Gregory. Before he had his season-ending injury, Cleveland Farrell, who just had surgery, so hopefully he gets well in his recovery and gets back on the field. But this is why you bring in these parts, because this is the second biggest stage in the NFL circle, the conference championship game, the right to represent the conference in Super Bowl 58 at Allegiant Stadium on February the 11th. This is why you get those guys. So those guys have got to show up, they got to show out, and they've got to play big. But more importantly than that, they have to be consistent. Now, yes, obviously, I'm picking my team, rightfully so, because that's just my team. However,
yes,
I do think they have to get pressure and jump in to knock off Goff's rhythm, because if Goff goes to a rhythm, that could be a big problem for the Niners.
Yeah, you're absolutely right. I said once this matchup happened that both teams match up slightly evenly. Good defense on one side. They both want to run the ball. They use their running backs in the passing game. I agree with you. It's going to come down to maybe who might make that turnovers. I also believe special teams is going to play a very pivotal part in this game. I maybe a punt return or the kickoff, but that they're going to play a good part. This is just what you want out of football, man. This is two good teams, good organizations. The Lions have is a tradition. We know the history of the Niners, but you got two coaches that are different. You got the Dan Campbell grit running your face. You got the mind of Shanahan. So it's going to come down to the defensive coordinators. What is Wilkes and Glenn going to bring to the table? Who's going to stop who? The pieces here. Great chess match. God.
Also the great chess match between Ben Johnson and Kyle Shanahan calling offensive plays.
Yes. This is what you want out of a game. I mean, I'm excited for it. I'm still going to go with my pick from our football show. For the beginning of the year, I picked you guys to get to the Super Bowl. Never picked you guys to win it yet. So we'll see what happens after this weekend, and then we'll have that prediction show. But God, I just think this game is going to come down to the kickers. This might be the kicker because I believe the defenses both will and can make the stop to put their team in a situation. So just like how I said against what the Niners did with the Packers, the offense went down there and did what they had to do. And then your defense went and did what they had to do to shut it out. There was no question that, oh God, are they going to get in field goal range? No, we killed that. So, hey, But this is
It
the
could
reason
happen.
why Niner fans.
Any given,
This is the
any
reason
given,
why certain Niner any given Sunday. But this is the reason why certain Niner fans are a little nervous because of this team. You know, you feel a little bit comfortable playing the Buccaneers. Possibly, Baker could have been Baker, but with this Lions team and what they believe in, it's almost like when somebody said on one of our shows that with Jim Harbaugh in Michigan, they wanted to win for Jim Harbaugh. This team wants to win for Dan Campbell, and that is a scary situation in sports when you got your team and organization all wrapped in one. That's scary. That is very, very scary. But I still believe the Niners might come out and win on the kick.
And not to mention, they want to win for their city. They want to win for their fans.
That's more dangerous.
As I've said more than once. And like I've said before, Detroit is a very good sports city. It always has been.
Hockey, basketball, football,
grit,
baseball.
You think gritty? You think blue collar? You think gritty and blue collar? That's Detroit. That's Detroit, Michigan. It's we get our hard hats, we get our lunch pail, and we go to work and we grind. That's the Detroit Lions. That's the kind of game the Lions want to play on Sunday against the Niners. And if Detroit's offensive line can match the physicality of the Niners defensive line, the Lions stand a doggone good chance to make their first ever Super Bowl appearance. It can happen. So which is why I'm saying to the 49 faithful, take this game serious. Don't be braggadocious.
Mm-hmm.
Yes, we know the Lions history has been not so great, but this is a different Detroit Lions team that I'm trying to get y'all to understand. This game is not going to be easy. It's not going to be for the faint of heart, and absolutely, they believe that they should be exactly right where they are right now, one step away from Super Bowl 58.
Mm-hmm.
And that is something that you have got to pay attention to, because if you don't, you could get punched in the mouth and not have a and not have an answer to counter. But at the same time, I just think it's going to be a fantastic, awesome football game. I really do.
Yeah. Both games
really do.
Both games is why we sit here and we love sports, because it gives you something. It all, like you just said about Lamar Jackson, what he wants to do for Baltimore. That's the same thing Dan Campbell and his team wants to do for Detroit. You know, and then you just got the Niners, who's just questing for 6, just trying to do what they want to do. And then you got the Chiefs, who've been there, who want more. Fuck, this is why I love sports. You know, I'm just gonna sit back and watch these games and enjoy it, because you know what I don't want. I really don't want a repeat of why I had to sit here and watch a whole lot of fucking red on TV.
Yeah,
I saw a whole lot of fucking red on my television. I do not want that again. That is what
you do not want. A Super Bowl 54 rematch. He does not want it.
I won't watch it.
Now,
I won't watch it. Just like I only watched the halftime show. The last Super Bowl that happened. I won't watch. Hey.
Keith, I agree with you.
Just turned on the halftime show.
Any other year, Keith, I agree with you. I would be rooting for the Lions because it was it's a great story. It's a great underdog story. Any other year, I would root for the Lions. I really truthfully would, but because my team's in it, of course I have to go with my team because that's my team. However, 100%. if somehow the Lions pull the upset, I will be rooting for the Lions to win the Super Bowl without question.
Ooh, just
because
that's where I would have to. Depends on who they playing, because I want Lamar to get one. Lamar should have a Super Bowl. I love the Detroit. I love their story. I love everything like that. But, Can you imagine the storyline for that? The Ravens already got 2. The Lions,
Correct.
yes, that's a great story, but damn it, I want Lamar to get one though, man. That's my love for Lamar kind of outweighs what I want for the Lions because that kid is a tremendous football player, and everybody when he got drafted by the Ravens, he's just going to be why make him a running back? He won't be a quarterback. He can't throw the ball. Excuse me, I saw that man at Louisville, Florida State Seminole fan. I know about Lamar. The young man can throw, as he's showing you now. He has evolved into a football player. He's just not a quarterback, ladies and gentlemen. He's a football player, and that's what he's showing you on this field right now. So that will be hard. But
he's an MVP, more than likely going to win
two-time,
his second MVP.
2-time. I'm calling it. 2-time. 2-time.
I mean,
easy, hands down. That team is not where they're at. If Lamar gets hurt, they're not even sniffing this AFC Championship game. With that, yes, the defense is good. Don't get me wrong.
Let alone have the best record in football. Let alone having the best record in the NFL, going 13-4.
I ain't got to say much, but my Super Bowl is the Niners, but it's going to be a repeat regardless. I'm getting one, but I would rather watch the Ravens.
Yeah.
If that's what's going to happen. But my dream will be the Lions and the Ravens. That would be my coup de grace right there. I'll take that. But I'm not going to get it. It's going to be the Niners and the freaking Ravens, which I'm okay with. It's better than the Red Bowl. Who wants to watch that again besides the fans? God, would that be the most unwatched Super Bowl? Please tell me it would, because I won't be watching it. Tell you that. Won't get the ratings for me. You'll get the ratings at halftime, but you won't get the ratings watching the game. I'll put that shit in my ear and watch movies with my wife.
Mizzle said, "I'll watch Usher, and that's about it."
Pretty fucking much, because Usher going out there and dance his ass off and probably sing a couple of good songs that I like. And then after that, back to watching movies. I don't want to watch that again. I'm sorry. That's just my disdain for both organizations.
He'll be watching Yellowstone. He'll be watching Yellowstone.
Does that return? That's returning?
I thought.
Don't get my hopes up.
I think so.
Oh, you damn right. I'll be watching Yellowstone.
I mean,
but no, all jokes aside.
I'm still waiting on season 2 of Tulsa King. I'm like, come on, Paramount, get your stuff together. Come on.
Well, you got to remember, as we jump off subject real quick, you have to remember when that writer's strike happened, a lot of shit did not get done. Yeah. So now that they're done, a lot of things are picking up. That's why Deadpool got moved. And did you see the picture? They wrapped.
I did. Yes. Yes. Yes.
Okay. Sorry. Fandom there. But the writing things cause a lot of things to be delayed. So things will be coming back. We just got to be patient. But jokes aside, I probably would watch that Super Bowl because I'm a football fan and I would love to see the outcome. But it would be horrible.
Just to answer your question, Yellowstone season 5 part 2 will premiere in November of this year. So just a FYI.
The wait. It's just the wait. This is almost like when Power ended, when Ghost was still around. You're like, I gotta wait how long? What? So that's just that. So
you're not wrong. You're not wrong. But Championship Sunday is upon us again. First game, the AFC Championship game, 12:30 Pacific, 3:30 Eastern, 2 Central, 1 Mountain, and then the Niners and the Lions, 3:30 Pacific, 6:30 Eastern, 5 Central, 4 Mountain. So, like I said, CBS Sports and Fox will have, of course, as always, the conference championship games. And
yes,
I will be watching it, but I won't be watching it as I would like to because obviously I will be on A7FL duties as we have our own version of Championship Sunday with the Final Four of the Fall Brawl, the Insomniacs and the Alienators at 1 p.m. And, of course, the nightcap is the Outlaws against Sick With It. So,
all right, I'll have that on the small TV.
Please spend part of your championship weekend with us as we do the Final Four.
I'll sports bar this weekend.
And then we will have our championship. We'll have our championship game on February the 4th. But certainly, we hope you enjoyed catching us with number 157 as we preview Championship Sunday. Who will hoist the Lamar Hunt and the George Halas Trophy, and who will punch their ticket to Super Bowl 58 in Las Vegas, Nevada at Allegiant Stadium on February the 11th on CBS. Thank you to everyone that commented on Mizzle's Facebook page and or my Facebook page. For those that watched on Instagram Live, we thank you for watching. Of course, on our personal Facebook pages, we thank you for watching also. And wherever you're going to spend Championship Sunday, please, 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 please be safe. And if you had too much, if you call an Uber or a Lyft, that's what they're there for. Don't risk your life. Be smart. Get somebody to be there with you, or like I said, Lyft home, Uber home, because your life is valuable. Anyhow, number 157 in the books of the Mizzle and Dub Show. We hope you enjoyed Championship Sunday wherever you may be watching. And if your team is in it, good luck. If your team's not in it, just enjoy some good fashion football as we get to the final two of who's going to be in Super Bowl 50. But in the meantime, he's Mizzle. I'm Dub. And as always, it is 5 o'clock, some damn where, and you have been watching the Mizzle and Dub Show. You guys take care of yourself and each other.